Success is never born from waiting. It is born from movement. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect feeling to appear, as if life will pause until they are ready. But life doesn't pause. Opportunities don't wait. The world keeps spinning, deals close, doors shut, and chances pass while hesitation lingers. Every moment spent waiting is a moment that could have been used to create, to grow, to move closer to the life you desire. Waiting is comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of progress. Action begins where fear and doubt exist. Waiting often masquerades as prudence, as careful planning, but in reality it is avoidance. It is the unwillingness to step into the unknown, the hesitation to face uncertainty. Yet the unknown is where everything of value lives. Every achievement, every breakthrough, every life-changing moment is the result of someone choosing to act in the absence of certainty. Waiting only guarantees that the unknown remains unclaimed, untouched, and unattainable. People wait for motivation to arrive, but motivation is not a precursor to action. Motivation is a result of action, not the cause. You act first, and motivation follows. Momentum is created by movement. The longer you wait, the heavier your inertia becomes. Each day you delay, self-doubt gains more strength. Excuses pile up, and courage weakens. Those who act, even imperfectly, develop momentum that propels them forward, while those who wait remain anchored in stagnation. Waiting is often dressed in logic. I need more time. I need more resources. I need to be more ready. These statements feel rational, but they are traps. Readiness is rarely ever fully present. The moment you believe you are fully ready is often the moment opportunity has moved on. There's no perfect alignment of circumstances. Action is the force that transforms incomplete preparation into experience, skill, and eventual mastery. Every person you admire, every success story you hear is built on action taken despite uncertainty. Waiting produces stories of regret, stories of what could have been. Action produces stories of growth, learning, and achievement. The ones who move first, even clumsily, gain advantage. They learn faster, adjust quicker, and position themselves ahead of those still standing still, debating, analyzing, and postponing. The cost of waiting is invisible at first, but it compounds rapidly. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. Opportunities pass quietly, unnoticed, while the world advances. Waiting teaches nothing and gives nothing. Action, no matter how small, teaches, shapes, and builds momentum. A single step forward generates ripples that multiply into possibilities you could never have predicted from inaction alone. Waiting fosters fear. Fear thrives in stillness because stillness allows the mind to exaggerate threats, create excuses, and imagine failure. Action, on the other hand, diminishes fear. When you act, you encounter reality, not imagination. You learn what works, what doesn't, and how to adjust. Each small step forward replaces anxiety with confidence and replaces hesitation with competence. Time itself is neutral, but waiting saps its value. The clock continues to tick whether you move or not. Every moment wasted in hesitation is energy that cannot be reclaimed. Action makes time work for you. Action transforms hours into learning, progress, and results. Waiting only turns time into regret, a silent tax on the life that could have been built if movement had occurred. Action is the difference between potential and reality. A dream without action is just imagination. A plan without action is a decoration. Only when you act do ideas become tangible, possibilities become achievements, and intentions become results. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is constructed entirely through the steps you take, the choices you make, and the effort you invest, one movement at a time. Every moment you wait is a moment you could have acted. Every excuse to delay is a choice to remain in the same place. Every later that you give yourself is a gift you take from your own future. The power to change your life, to grow, to achieve, and to create exists in your ability to move now, not later. The act of forcing yourself to start, to engage, to do, and to move forward is the single most decisive factor that separates those who dream from those who accomplish. Growth never happens in comfort. Comfort is familiar, safe, and predictable. And while it may feel good in the moment, it keeps you stagnant. Every meaningful change Every significant achievement, every level of success requires stepping into discomfort. It is in the tension, the struggle, and the challenge where real development occurs. The body, the mind, and the spirit are all designed to adapt when pushed beyond their familiar boundaries. Without pressure, there is no expansion, and without expansion, there is no progress. Discomfort is the signal that you are on the right path. When your heart races, when your palms sweat, when your mind protests against uncertainty, that is not a warning to stop. That is an invitation to grow. The resistance you feel is a measure of the value of the opportunity before you. The bigger the challenge, the greater the discomfort, the more significant the growth that awaits on the other side. Avoiding discomfort keeps life small. Embracing it makes life extraordinary. Every breakthrough in history, every story of achievement, every person who has risen above mediocrity has faced discomfort head on. They endured rejection, criticism, uncertainty, and fear. They chose the difficult path over the easy one, the long-term reward over short-term comfort. The discomfort they experienced became their teacher, their strength, and the foundation of their resilience. Success is never gifted. It is earned through repeated acts of courage in uncomfortable circumstances. Discomfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. When you push through challenges, when you confront fear, when you take on tasks that stretch your limits, you create skills, habits, and confidence that last a lifetime. Each uncomfortable moment compounds into experience, wisdom, and a sense of capability that cannot be achieved by staying in your comfort zone. Avoiding discomfort only delays progress and keeps potential locked away. Discomfort forces you to adapt. It forces creativity, innovation, and problem solving. When everything is easy, the mind and body do not need to think, adjust, or improve. But when pressure mounts, when circumstances challenge you, adaptation becomes necessary. Growth is not passive, it is active. You cannot grow in ease, but you can grow exponentially when you embrace the challenge. When you choose to lean into discomfort instead of running from it, the path to mastery is paved with discomfort. Whether it is in learning a new skill, building a business, improving your health, or developing relationships, the growth you desire is always on the other side of effort, persistence, and struggle. Comfort is the enemy of excellence, and excellence is never comfortable. Those who seek greatness must be willing to face what most avoid, to work when it is hard, and to endure when it is inconvenient. Discomfort teaches resilience. Every time you confront what makes you uneasy, every time you step into uncertainty, you build mental toughness and emotional fortitude. You learn that fear and resistance do not need to control your decisions. You learn that challenges are temporary, and your capacity to endure and adapt is far greater than you imagined. Growth is not just about skills or knowledge. It is about becoming stronger, more capable, and unshakable in the face of adversity. Discomfort reshapes perspective. When life challenges you, when circumstances are difficult, when progress feels slow, your mindset shifts. You learn to appreciate effort, to value persistence, and to see obstacles as opportunities. The lessons embedded in discomfort are invisible until you experience them. But once learned, they change how you approach everything. You start to embrace challenge instead of avoiding it, knowing that growth is inseparable from discomfort. Discomfort is a choice. You can shrink back, retreat, and cling to safety, or you can move forward, engage, and grow. Choosing discomfort is not reckless, it is strategic. It is the decision to prioritize long-term development over short-term ease, to invest in yourself when it is inconvenient, to take the actions that others avoid. Growth requires repeated acts of courage, each one pushing your limits further, expanding your potential beyond what you once believed possible. Discomfort is the gateway to transformation. Every level of achievement, every personal evolution, every breakthrough in life begins with the willingness to endure what is difficult. You cannot grow by staying the same. You cannot evolve by seeking ease. Every step into discomfort is a step toward a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Each challenge, each struggle, each moment that tests your limits is a signal that you are moving in the direction of growth, and that true progress is being forged in the fires of discomfort. Discipline is the foundation of achievement, while emotions are fleeting and unreliable. Emotions change from moment to moment, influenced by circumstances, environment, and even the people around you. Relying on how you feel to dictate your actions is a recipe for inconsistency and stagnation. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision, a commitment to act according to principle and purpose, regardless of temporary feelings. It is the ability to do what must be done, even when you, mind or body, resists. Emotions are unpredictable. Some days you feel motivated, confident, and capable, while other days you feel tired, doubtful, or uninspired. If you allow your emotions to lead, your progress will mirror your moods, sporadic, unreliable, and inconsistent. Discipline removes emotions from the equation. It establishes a standard that you follow no matter how you feel. It creates a structure within which results are inevitable because your actions are not dependent on external highs or lows. Discipline is the bridge between intention and execution. Many people have dreams, plans, and ideas, but they rarely translate them into results because they wait for the right feeling to act. Discipline forces you to move even when conditions are not perfect. It is the muscle that allows you to act in spite of fatigue, doubt, or fear. The more you practice discipline, the stronger this muscle becomes, and the less likely you are to be swayed by temporary emotional states. Consistency is born from discipline. Results are rarely the outcome of one inspired moment or one burst of motivation. They are the accumulation of repeated actions over time. Discipline ensures that you show up day after day, take the necessary steps, and maintain focus, even when the excitement has faded. Emotions may flare up and fade, but disciplined habits create enduring momentum that cannot be derailed by fleeting feelings. Discipline creates freedom, not restriction. While it may feel constraining in the moment to act when you don't feel like it, over time it builds capacity, strength, and opportunity. Each disciplined decision compounds, producing results that would be impossible if you relied solely on emotion. Freedom is found not in doing what feels good in the moment, but in developing the ability to control your actions and your life through consistent, intentional effort. Emotions can mislead you. They amplify fears, exaggerate doubts, and convince you to settle for comfort over growth. Discipline is the antidote. It reminds you that temporary discomfort is necessary for progress. It anchors you to long-term objectives, allowing you to act in alignment with your goals rather than the whims of your feelings. Every great achievement in history has been fueled not by emotion alone, but by disciplined action in spite of emotion. Discipline builds character. Every time you choose action over feelings, every time you honor a commitment to yourself despite resistance, you strengthen integrity and self-respect. Character is not developed in moments of comfort or when emotions are agreeable. It is forged in the decision to stay the course, to honor your principles, and to act with consistency and purpose. Discipline ensures that you become the person capable of achieving the outcomes you desire. Discipline also improves focus. Emotions scatter attention and create distraction. Anger, fear, excitement, or frustration can easily derail your efforts if you are not disciplined. Discipline trains the mind to concentrate on what matters, to prioritize the essential tasks, and to resist impulses that lead to wasted energy. Focused, disciplined effort produces results far beyond what sporadic bursts of emotion-driven work can achieve. Discipline outlasts motivation. Motivation comes and goes, often leaving people stranded in moments of low energy or doubt. Discipline does not waver. It is the steady engine that carries you through challenges, setbacks, and fatigue. It allows you to maintain progress when motivation has vanished, when feelings have shifted, and when the world seems to conspire against your goals. Those who cultivate discipline never rely on fleeting emotions. They rely on consistent, purposeful action. Discipline shapes destiny. Every decision to act despite resistance, every choice to prioritize long-term gain over short-term comfort compounds into a life of achievement and fulfillment. Emotions are temporary, unpredictable, and often misleading. Discipline is permanent, reliable, and transformative. It is the force that allows potential to be realized, dreams to be achieved, and lives to be elevated beyond what feelings alone could ever accomplish. Clarity does not come from overthinking, analysis, or waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from action. The mind can spin endlessly in circles, creating plans, imagining scenarios, and debating possibilities, but real understanding only emerges when you engage. When why? You take steps forward, and when you encounter reality firsthand. Thinking alone rarely produces results. Doing reveals the truth of what works and what does not. Action generates feedback. When you move, you are confronted with real consequences, real obstacles, and real responses. Each step teaches you something new about your strengths, your weaknesses, and the environment around you. Waiting to think everything through is an illusion of control, but moving allows you to see what is actually possible. Every experience provides data, and that data forms the basis of genuine clarity. Uncertainty diminishes with movement. The more you act, the more patterns you recognize, the more decisions become clear, and the more confidence grows. Hesitation is the enemy of understanding. When you sit still, questions multiply and doubts fester, but when you act, uncertainty is replaced by tangible outcomes. Even mistakes clarify the path. They show you what to adjust, what to avoid, and what to pursue with more intensity. Clarity is a product of learning by doing. Knowledge without application is shallow, theoretical, and incomplete. True comprehension emerges when knowledge is tested in real situations. Each time you execute an idea, each time you take action on a plan, you gain insight that cannot be obtained through contemplation alone. Action transforms abstract concepts into concrete understanding. Movement creates momentum, and momentum clarifies purpose. When you take the first step, it is often unclear how far it will lead or what exactly will unfold, but that first step generates energy and direction. With each subsequent action, the fog begins to lift. You see more clearly which paths are viable and which are dead ends. Motion illuminates the way forward, turning confusion into strategic understanding. Doing builds confidence, and confidence sharpens clarity. Every accomplishment, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in your ability to navigate challenges. Action produces proof that you can handle difficulty, adapt to change, and solve problems as they arise. That proof removes hesitation and illuminates the next steps. Clarity is not born from pondering your capacity. It is forged in demonstrating it through deliberate action. Waiting for clarity is a trap. Many people delay decisions, projects, or commitments because they want certainty first, but certainty rarely exists in advance. It is created through engagement. As you act, as you test ideas and adjust strategies, clarity emerges naturally. Every movement reduces ambiguity, sharpens perspective, and aligns your efforts with reality. Action is the lens through which vision becomes clear. Action forces prioritization. When you move, you are confronted with what truly matters and what does not. Distractions, unnecessary tasks, and irrelevant concerns fall away as you respond to the demands of real situations. Doing exposes what is essential, focusing energy and resources on what will produce results. Clarity is the natural byproduct of addressing reality instead of imagining it. Experience trumps speculation. You can spend hours theorizing about outcomes, weighing options, and planning strategies, but until you act, all of it remains hypothetical. Action converts theory into tangible experience. Each attempt, each failure, each small success adds layers of understanding that refine your judgment. The clearer you become about your abilities, resources, and environment, the smarter your decisions and the more decisive your next actions. Clarity is iterative. It grows with each step you take. The first action may reveal only a sliver of understanding, but subsequent actions expand that insight, deepen comprehension, and build perspective. Momentum compounds, mistakes teach, and adjustments refine the path. The act of doing itself sharpens thinking, illuminates reality, and reveals the answers that no amount of reflection alone could ever produce. Delay comes at a price, and that price is often far higher than most people realize. Every moment spent hesitating, overthinking, or waiting for the right time is a moment wasted. time that cannot be recovered. Opportunities are fleeting, resources are limited, and circumstances change constantly. What is available today may be gone tomorrow. Postponement may feel safe, but it carries an invisible cost that accumulates silently while life moves forward. Procrastination multiplies regret. Each delay reinforces fear, self-doubt, and indecision. The longer you wait, the heavier the burden of inaction becomes. Small postponements compound into larger ones, creating a pattern that limits growth, blocks potential, and erodes confidence. People often underestimate how quickly time slips away, and the cost of delay is often measured not in days or weeks, but in lost years and unrealized dreams. Every delay comes with missed opportunities, deals that could have been made, relationships that could have been built, experiences that could have been had. All are lost when hesitation takes precedence over action. Life rewards the bold and the proactive, while those who wait are left observing the success of others. The cost of delay is not just the passage of time, it is the forfeiture of what might have been if action had been taken sooner. Delay fosters doubt. When action is postponed, the mind fills the gap with questions, fears, and imagined obstacles. What could have been a simple first step becomes a mountain of uncertainty. The longer hesitation persists, the stronger the fear grows, making it even harder to act in the future. Delay is a trap that feeds on indecision, creating the illusion that waiting is safer than moving, when in reality it is far more costly. Momentum is lost every time you delay. Action generates energy, opportunity, and movement, but inaction breeds stagnation. Even small steps taken consistently create progress, while waiting ensures nothing changes. The first step is often the hardest, but it is the one that begins to reduce the cost of delay by opening doors, revealing options, and building confidence. Without that step, inertia rules and potential remains unfulfilled. Delay can lead to unnecessary complications. Problems left unattended tend to grow over time. What might have been manageable in the moment becomes larger, more complex, and more difficult to resolve as hesitation continues. Action, even imperfect action, allows challenges to be addressed before they multiply. The cost of delay is often measured in extra effort, stress, and missed timing, all of which could have been avoided by moving decisively. Opportunities favor those who act. Timing is rarely perfect, and waiting for conditions to align is a gamble with high stakes. Fortune often rewards the proactive, the early movers, and those willing to step into uncertainty. Every day you delay is a day someone else moves ahead. The cost of delay is measured not only in what is lost, but also in the advantage gained by those who refuse to wait. Delay diminishes confidence. Every postponed decision sends a message to yourself that action is optional, that hesitation is acceptable, and that your goals are secondary. Over time, repeated delay erodes self-trust and weakens resolve. The cost is not only lost time and missed opportunities, but a gradual decline in the belief in your own ability to act decisively when it matters most. Action creates results, delay guarantees doubt. Every day that passes without movement is a day spent wondering, worrying, and imagining scenarios that may never come to pass. The human mind is prone to exaggerate the risks of action, yet delay amplifies fear far more than action ever could. The price of waiting is always higher than the temporary discomfort of acting, because delay allows uncertainty to grow unchecked and opportunity to slip quietly away. Every delay is a choice, and every choice has consequences. Choosing to wait may feel safe, but it comes at the cost of growth, progress, and fulfillment. Every day you postpone, you pay with lost time, lost experience, and lost opportunity. The world continues to move, opportunities pass, and life rewards those who act. Delay is not neutral, it is expensive, and the cost is measured in the difference between where you are and where you could have been if you had acted sooner. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in the presence of fear. Every person experiences fear, doubt, and uncertainty, but it is how you respond to those emotions that defines your life. Fear signals opportunity, challenge, and growth. It is a natural response to stepping beyond familiar boundaries, and it is meant to be confronted, not avoided. True courage is moving forward even when your mind screams to stop, even when your instincts urge retreat, and even when the outcome is uncertain. Fear often disguises itself as reason. It whispers that you are not ready, that you might fail, that the risk is too high. These thoughts feel rational, but they are illusions designed to keep you safe in mediocrity. Courage requires seeing beyond these illusions and taking decisive action despite them. The presence of fear does not invalidate your ability to succeed. It validates that you are stepping into a space where growth, reward, and transformation exist. Every act of courage builds strength. The more you face fear and act anyway, the less power fear has over you. Each courageous step reinforces confidence, resilience, and self-trust. Courage compounds over time. The first step may be the hardest, but each subsequent action becomes easier, and what once seemed impossible begins to feel attainable. Courage is a skill that grows the more it is exercised, and inaction ensures that fear remains dominant. Fear is temporary, but regret is lasting. Those who allow fear to dictate their choices live with the what-ifs, the missed opportunities, and the stories of what could have been. Courage allows you to act in spite of fear, turning potential regret into achievement and uncertainty into experience. Every moment of bravery, no matter how small, strengthens your ability to confront future challenges with confidence and clarity. Courage creates momentum. Action generates energy, and action taken in the face of fear produces the strongest momentum of all. When you act despite fear, you demonstrate to yourself that obstacles are not immovable, that challenges are not insurmountable, and that your capacity for action exceeds your perception of risk. Momentum built through courage propels you forward, making the next steps easier and reinforcing your ability to handle adversity. Courage teaches adaptability. Acting despite fear exposes you to situations that require problem solving, learning, and adjustment. Fear often exaggerates perceived dangers, but experience reveals the reality of the challenge. The more you engage, the more you understand what is possible, and the better you become at navigating uncertainty. Courage transforms fear from a paralyzing force into a teacher, guiding you toward mastery of yourself and your environment. Every person you admire has acted despite fear. Success, achievement, and transformation are rarely born in comfort or certainty. They are born in moments of decision when hesitation could have been the easier path. Courage is the difference between those who dream and those who accomplish. It is the defining factor that separates inaction from progress, fear from freedom, and potential from reality. Courage is contagious. Every time you act despite fear, you inspire others to do the same. It sets an example that fear is not a stopping point, but a signal that you are pushing towards something meaningful. The ripples of courage extend beyond your own life, influencing those around you and creating a culture of action, resilience, and determination. Fear is often magnified by isolation. The mind exaggerates risks when left alone with doubt. Courage requires engagement, confrontation, and movement. When you act, you break the cycle of imagined consequences and replace it with actual experience. Each step taken in the face of fear diminishes its power, reshapes your perception of risk, and expands your confidence to tackle challenges previously thought impossible. Courage is a choice, repeated over and over. It is the decision to act when conditions are uncomfortable, outcomes are uncertain, and the mind resists. It is the willingness to endure temporary discomfort for the sake of long-term growth and achievement. Every act of courage strengthens character, builds resilience, and opens doors to opportunities that fear alone would have kept closed. It is through repeated courageous action that fear loses its dominion and the life you desire becomes attainable.